Welcome back. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer raised the stakes for Democrats as they battled to hold on to the Senate, opening the door to dropping the threshold to pass legislation in the Senate in a bid to fire up progressive voters, telling reporters at the Democratic convention that his party was only 3 votes away from killing the filibuster, saying, quote, "We've got it up to 48, but of course Sinema and Manchin voted no. That's why we couldn't change the rules." Well, they'll both be gone. With us to discuss this and more is former Democratic Senator Tom Daschle of South Dakota, who served as Majority Leader in the Senate from 2001 to 2003. Senator, we thank you for being here.
It's great to be with you.
Making time for us today. On the filibuster question, Senator Schumer, Senate Majority Leader Schumer, says maybe it's just a carve out for specific abortion legislation or something like that. Where are you on whether the filibuster should be preserved?
Well, Chris, in the first 50 years we had cloture. We only had 43 of them in 50 years. In the last Congress, we had 289.
Okay.
That says all you need to know about how dysfunctional and broken the system is. My first preference would be to go back to the way it used to be.
A talking filibuster.
Talking filibuster, and you didn't set the bills aside. They call it dual tracking. I'd like to try that for a year. Let's see if we could make the old system work. If it doesn't, maybe we can look at something else.
So that's an intermediate step to just lower it into a pure majoritarian.
Yeah, let's try it.
Okay, a top priority for the one of the tantalizing things for anti-filibuster Democrats right now is changes to the Supreme Court. And progressives imagine that if they had a 51-vote threshold in the Senate and Democratic control of the House, that big changes to the Supreme Court could be in place. President Biden says term limits are necessary, and others continue to say it's time to expand the Supreme Court. Where are you on that question?
Chris, I am very concerned about the perception that people have about government generally and the Supreme Court specifically. Their favorability, their perception has just dropped dramatically in recent years. So we need reform. Everybody should be supportive of ways with which to improve the image and the perception of their willingness to look at the rule of law exclusively. So term limits, ethics reform are absolutely essential to making that happen.
But not expanding the court.
No, I wouldn't expand it. I don't think it's necessary. I think we just need nine good ones, and we'll be fine.
That's some good John Nance Gardner energy coming at you folks out there. We're in a long line of prairie populists, right? We could take it all the way back to William Jennings Bryan if you wanted to, but the plains and the upper Midwest, you used to be a common feature of those politics, which were Democrats who were ag-facing, sort of heartland kind of Democrats. There's just a couple left out there, and we see one in John Tester, who looks like he's hanging on by his fingernails out in Montana. Tim Walz represents, by my lights, an effort by Democrats to come back to some sort of Daschle kind of politics and go back to that old Democrat farmer labor kind of energy. Is that for real, or is this a feint?
It is for real. I am so excited about Tim Walz. I have the good fortune to have known him for a long time. I followed his career. We've crossed paths and talked on many occasions. I think he and John Tester are the epitome of what Democrats from the Midwest look like, talk like, and represent. And I think it's just the beginning of new inroads and new building of opportunities for Democrats and those of us in the Midwest who really want to return red to purple.
The next time you come back, we're going to fight about what the Midwest is, because you people are not from the Midwest. Ohio's in the Midwest. You guys are like the Plains or the Far West or something else. Tester's got a tough race, though. That's a real tough spot.
He does, but I was in that position many times myself, and it's amazing. Montanans are like South Dakotans. They vote for the individual. Okay. And I think in this case, they're going to vote for the individual again, and you're going to see John pull this out.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.